We are living in uncertain times with a pandemic taking lives and changing our lifestyles. And experts say until a vaccine is developed, we won't be able to breathe easier. One of those efforts to find a vaccine is sponsored by the government and the National Institutes of Health, called Operation Warp Speed, which is the pace of researchers trying to develop a vaccine. One of those organizations working at it is Texas Center for Drug Development, and they need people to take part in their phase 2 and 3 trials, and they'll pay you for your time. Dr. Frederick Santiago has been on the front lines of medical research for more than 30 years and joins me this morning. Dr. Santiago, welcome to Houston Newsmakers. Tell us, what would volunteers need to do?
Well, the first thing they need to do is call our number and at 281-886-3753, or either go online at HoustonFightsCovid.com so that we can take a quick survey about whether or not you might qualify for the study. That's the first thing. If we feel that you do, then you'll be invited for a visit where we'll ask more questions, make sure you are informed about what the risks and benefits are, perhaps go through a physical examination, have blood drawn, and then perhaps even be vaccinated on that day. So that's what the folks can probably expect when you call up and connect with us.
So when you get that, how long of a process is a trial? My understanding is when you do a, quote, clinical trial, it's a long process. How long of a process would this be?
Yeah, well, this one, depending upon the trial, and we have several here, but depending upon the trial, it can last anywhere from 1 year to 2 years. The first part of it actually is you'd be followed up fairly on a weekly basis, a daily basis. In some instances, you'd be given a diary. That could go on for a couple months. And then it tails off at the end where there's less contact with us unless there's a problem. And then we follow it with you in a year or so to determine whether or not the vaccine is efficacious and whether or not antibodies are still viable and effective.
So I've been hearing a lot. We've been hearing about a lot of vaccines that are in production or at least being researched at this point in time. Balancing what you're just saying with the comments from the White House or other administrative people talking about hoping to get a vaccine by the end of the year, while most experts say that if you get one by January 2021, that is extraordinary. So based upon what we know about how long these things take, what's a realistic expectation for when some sort of vaccine might be able to be available to people to use?
You know, that's a great question, and some of it requires a little bit of ability to predict the future.
Yeah, I get it.
Since I don't have that, I can comment and suggest to you that typically it can take up to a year. Because of the seriousness of what we're going through now, the process has been expedited, not from a safety or efficacy standpoint, but from the standpoint of the paperwork and the federal response. So I think that it's probably not unreasonable if, in fact, this particular trial goes well. It's not unreasonable to expect that, we could have some results indicating either positive or negative by the end of the year.
So what kind of, I'm a volunteer, and I come to do this. What kind of risk do I take? What kind of risk am I putting myself in?
Well, based upon the early studies that were done on this particular vaccine, there was usually most people familiar with a cold or mild flu, and that occurred at a high dosage. The vaccine that you're getting in this trial is at a lower dosage where not as many adverse effects were seen. There were no serious adverse effects so far. And so we're fairly optimistic about the fact that most people will probably have a fairly good experience with this.
And if volunteers are accepted, there's a chance for them to be paid for their, quote, volunteering for this?
Yes. In order to level the playing field so that everyone can participate, all socioeconomic groups, everyone, different types of business, we are offering reimbursement of a little north of $1,000 to help defray some of the expenses of participating in the trial. It's a lot of people have travel expenses, and it's work, and you have babysit expenses, these types of things. So yes, there is about $1,000 offered over the period of the study to participate.
Well, I am going to make sure that I put the information on our website. Dr. Sanael, thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for your dedication to this process. You've dedicated your life to this, and we appreciate the fact that you and so many other of your colleagues are doing this. We are going to be a better society as a result of your efforts, so I appreciate you for that, sir. So I'm going to put the information on our website, and hopefully people will go to that on our clicktohouston.com webpage. Dr. Santiago, thank you again for being with me this morning.
Thank you, Convo.